Today's video on Health Starter is going to be talking about SAD, Seasonal Awareness Disorder. Now, many people over the world experience this, especially in the winter, and I can see why from all the cold and all the gloomy days and things like that. And some of us, and maybe even me, myself in the past, you might just think, oh, the people are weak or whatever. But until you actually experience some sort of depression, you kind of understand where people could be coming from, because depression can get to anybody at any time, no matter how healthy or unhealthy, whether it's seasonal or not. Healthy people tend to be a little more in touch with their emotions. So even if they have a day of depression or even last maybe for a week, they often overcome it and then thrive for a certain period of time before another episode, because they understand that they don't want their emotions to be controlling them, that they have a better way of controlling their emotions when they're more emotionally intelligent. And you can only be emotionally intelligent if you study it. And that helps with a lot of these seasonal depression or regular depression in general. I myself experienced being out in a lot of different elements of rain, snow, and all these things. I was a truck driver for about 4 years over the country. And there's times where you're not doing your best because it's 0 degrees with wind chills of -20. And it doesn't feel really good when you got to go walk your dog and you got to cover your face up with a t-shirt and walk around freezing cold wondering if your dog's going to get frostbite or something. But that's a pretty extreme example. For other people, it could just be regular old where you live, not enough sunlight, it's cold, and you ain't feeling very well. And then you pile that up with all of life's other messes, and you find yourself laying in bed a little bit longer than you should. And whether or not it is a beautiful day or a gloomy day, too much bed laying or couch laying, watching TV or sitting around too much, they're second cousins of depression, because when you're inactive, you're more likely to experience depression and anxiety, because you're not out there doing anything. You're thinking about your problems, you're not resolving anything. And usually when you're taking action and you're engaged and you're inspired, even if you shouldn't feel good because of something, you don't really have the time to not be feeling good because you're too busy being active. And in those activities can ultimately help you feel better. Going for a walk, exercising, going and hanging out with a good, positive role model of a friend. Any of these type of things will make you feel good under any circumstance. If you're laying around all day, you're not feeling good, you didn't feel good yesterday, the day before, and you pretty much did the same thing. Your house is a mess, your floor is cluttered with junk, the dishes are piling up, every square inch of your counter space in your kitchen's got clutter all over it as well. It doesn't feel very good to be in those environments. And if you've been laying around and those things are piling up, you're going to feel so much better cleaning it all up and doing other mind-engaging things that it's kind of almost a cure in ways for the now until the next episode. Because life's journey has its vicissitudes of ups and downs. And when you are a bit down, having the tools to combat those feelings help you get through them within a day or two, rather than a week or two, month or two, year or two, or living a life of pure depression and the worst case scenarios, the suicides and those type of things. Some of the people that suffer the most are the ones that are the most self-seeking and self-obsessed, because they might not be in a spot where they think they should be or that they think they deserve, when they themselves really haven't done the work needed to get there, but they see all these other people experiencing these wonderful lives. It's not all about you. When you're engaged doing things for others, when you're engaged in the belief that we're all in this together and you're inspired to be a part of the fabric for your community, for each other, no matter how down you feel, those are going to propel you to do and feel better more than just trying to self-seek. That's some of the things that I've noticed. My most down times in my life is when I was more selfish or self-seeking, and when I realized the importance of others, I was able to get out of those negative thoughts and negative feelings. They might not have been detrimental and soul-sucking and stole everything out of my life like it can for some, but if you can combat most of those bad feelings and depression, whether it's winter, summer, spring, or fall, you're going to just feel a lot better and make more contribution to yourself, your family, and your community. And depression, anxiety, and those things are pretty tricky because we are learned to think of them as purely negative things to totally avoid. But they're there for a reason. They have purpose. If you think of them like an alarm, fire alarm going off, it's trying to tell you something's wrong. Of course, the sound doesn't sound very good. Of course, the feelings don't feel very well. But if there's a fire in your house, you don't just ask somebody to turn off the fire alarm. There's a problem. If your brain's trying to tell you that you don't feel good, or you're not feeling well about your actions and what you're currently doing, your mind and your body are trying to tell you something. And if you just listen and are engaged with that and in tune with it, you're more likely to get out of those feelings of despair and build towards repair. Because some of the things that do throw the chemicals of our brains off is just by having a bad diet, not getting enough sunshine, not getting enough exercise, not getting enough positive influences in our lives, not thinking the right thoughts, not doing the things that we love to do. If you like to do art, play a musical instrument, or any of these things that are our hobbies, or just even our work or business or whatever, if you're not engaged in the things you love to do, you're not going to feel very good. So it's kind of a formula. The formula of being more joyful and happier and more balanced is doing the things that make you feel happier, more balanced, right? The same as a formula for not feeling good. It's a formula. It's a downward spiral. You hit these levels of going down, 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 and it happens to everybody at certain points. And if you continue down each progressing or digressing path, it just gets worse and worse. And I'm sure the hole gets harder to dig out of. I know a lot of this isn't just based on fully the seasonal awareness disorder, but the same things that help you during any time of the year with depression or being sad or any disorder that's going to cause you to not fulfill your life's purpose are just similar things that help with overall depression in general. Getting out of bed, movement, engagement, inspiration, contribution, and a lot of the things that we may not be doing when we're not feeling our best. And you're not going to feel good and aren't supposed to feel good when you're not engaged, inspired, active, and doing things for others while also doing for yourself, taking care of yourself. I know whenever I might feel, I can't really say depression. I try not to have those words in my vocabulary, but I know they're real things that brains and minds and bodies and people experience. So when I'm feeling something like that, where I'm a little down, I'm not engaged, I'm not inspired, I don't have the energy, I just kind of lay down for a minute and take a quick little nap, turn off the TV, turn off everything, just lay there. Sometimes I might need something to be going just so I can get out of a certain thought, maybe put on an audible book, something engaging for the mind. And it really helps me to get over those feelings within a few hours, or even just resting for the night, and I'm energized and ready to go again the next day, instead of succumbing to those negative feelings and going and eating bad food or going to the bar and drinking and doing a bunch of things that are just going to make me feel worse and lead into the next day, into the next week, into the next month, into the next year, until the next life, if that's what's going on. I try to get rid of it as quick as possible. There's been times where it has gone on for a few days and I kind of realized, well, if I just do this thing first, I can get back to good much quicker. And it works really well. When I don't do it is when I notice other things that happen that put me off for another couple days. And for some people, it could be another couple weeks, months, whatever. So any form of depression you might be suffering, just be active. Do something to clean up the house. Do something for the mind. Do something for someone else. Sometimes that feels good. You'd be surprised how much just making somebody else feel good and laugh and seeing them smile will get you out of a bad mood real quick. So for anyone suffering out there, I wish you well. Cheers to your health. Take care.